once you choose your chocolate, you can make this delicious recipe, which we're doing today, which is a red velvet beet cookie. Yes, that's what happened. That's what's going on in my head. So, red velvet cookies are red velvet cake. Usually made with the dye, the red dye, food coloring. Has anyone tried to use beets in baking before to try to get that color? Maybe, yeah, some. Did you have any issues at all? No? Okay. So I was hoping you said yes. But if you did say yes, sometimes the beets or anything that has a dark color like this, if you add it to cake or cookies and you bake it, if there's anything like baking soda in there or if there's anything like cocoa powder in there, it will turn, you'll lose the red color and it'll actually turn brown on you. And you won't get that red color that you want in like a red velvet cake. The reason is because baking soda, a Dutch processed cocoa powder is higher in alkaline. And the alkaline actually disrupts the color from the beets. So what you want to do is if you're doing any baking, don't add those ingredients. Try to go for baking powder. Baking powder is baking soda. It's just been neutralized. The pH has been neutralized a little bit so that it's not as alkaline. And that won't disrupt the color with you. So if you're interested about the color of your cookies, then that's a little tip. So what I have here in my mixing bowl, I'm going to add 1 egg. So do our wet ingredients first. We're going to add a little bit of yogurt, so about half a cup of yogurt. Again, we're going to get a little bit of protein there, some really nice richness. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. So we're getting some good polyunsaturated fats there. You can use olive oil as well if you want. And just about a teaspoon of vinegar, which is very common in red velvet. I'm going to add my sugar now. Now, this is coconut sugar. Very, very similar product. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be judging the cookies. It tastes really good. So, wet ingredients. I'm going to add the last thing here. So, grated beet and about 3/4 cup. And I'm going to grate some more. Again, try not to use a wooden cutting board. I always forget this part. I'm scrubbing it for about 20 minutes. But we're just going to grate the beets raw. I know some recipes call for it cooked. It's a little more nutritious raw. It saves me a lot more time than having to boil these and then puree them. It takes me 2 seconds. And we're going to add this right to our wet ingredients. And then just stir away. And I have, I didn't juice it. You could juice it, but you know what? The whole beet is just so good for you. For me personally, it kind of tastes like that carrot cake texture, so I don't mind it. If you don't like that kind of grittiness, then you can juice it or strain it and just get the juice out. But you can see how red this has become, almost like a maroon color. And then we're going to add our dry ingredients in. So I have a cup of ground almonds. We're going to get some nice healthy fats in there. I've got a cup of, this is red fife flour. I put spelt flour on there. I'm using a whole grain, nice whole grain flour. Any flour will work for this. You can use quinoa flour if you want to try a little gluten-free. It's going to be a little denser. You're not going to get as much leavening, but it'll work. But red fife is the one we usually pick. It's a local flour, pride of Peterborough, and it's really, really good for you. And you can find it in most stores now. I know Bulk Barn carries it, so you can definitely check that out. And a tablespoon of baking powder. So just 3 ingredients. It's going to go in. And I'm just going to move this up to the cutting board. And just until it's combined, and you're going to see it doesn't take too long. I'm sure you're going to have a million things on the go on Valentine's, so you don't want to spend too much time with these cookies. So batter done. You can see the consistency, and just a spoonful, kind of dollop it on. And you want to leave about a couple inches of space in between. But I mean, the color's beautiful, really, really nice. And then you can get your dark chocolate. And I just kind of broke it up into chunks, nothing uniform, and just push it in the middle. Really simple. Do that, you know, about 100 more times or as much as you want. And that's going to go in the oven 350. So lower heat, and we're baking them for about 15 minutes. They do not take long at all. Allow them to cool a little bit because the chocolate will become like molten, melty, but this is what you get afterwards. I have to give a pat on the back for myself because I don't bake cookies that often.